Now to your community focus. Today, we are joined with our Attorney General, Peter Neronha. We are so glad to have you here with us at 4.
Great to be with you, Chelsea.
All right, we have a lot to cover today, so let's jump right in. So just yesterday, the judge hired by the North Kingstown School Committee released her findings and suggestions into the naked fat test scandal in North Kingstown. I know you were looking into that as well. You said it might take roughly 2 months. It's been about 3. Where does that stand? Yeah,
we're nearing the end of what we need to do. Look, there's a lot of allegations here. If you just read the judge's report, as I did today, you know, I think it goes over 100 pages with exhibits. There's a lot of people to interview and a lot of information to sort through. So we're nearing the end of it. I expect something to announce, you know, within a few weeks.
And is it because there is just so many people, so many things to go through that it's taken a little bit longer?
Yeah, look, you know, there's no secret that there are a lot of allegations involving a lot of people who may have been victimized. You know, there are allegations at this point. But obviously that means you have to sort through them all. You have to have a lot of people to interview, both in terms of potential, again, alleged people who might have been subject to fat testing, and then also administrators who may have been aware of it. So there's a lot to sort through, but we're moving through it, I think, quickly, and we should have something to report back within a few weeks.
Okay, sounds good. And just switching gears a bit to Eleanor Slater, a lot's been going on there. You've also had an investigation into that hospital as well. So I know a year ago you started this investigation. Recently you told us you were making progress. Any update on that investigation?
Yeah, same thing. You know, the team there is the Medicaid fraud unit, patient abuse unit, working with our civil division. They're making good progress. Again, I expect within, you know, I think realistically within a few months to have something pushed out on that as well. You know, it is, again, a lot of ground to cover there, but the team's doing a really good job.
And so the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services recently found issues at that hospital tied to patient safety. Is that having an effect on that investigation at all?
No, it's not, although I will say that obviously you know, those two things could potentially overlap. You know, Medicare has its, you know, its area of responsibility. Medicaid is very similar, obviously, and our patient abuse unit is looking at some of the allegations and frankly, some of the conditions that existed out there.
All right, and we'll talk about now the House of Representatives. They passed 3 gun reform bills, and we just heard that 2 out of the 3 did pass the Senate Judiciary just a moment ago. You've been a big proponent or against, you know, the grandfather clause into that magazine bill. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, sure. I think the place to start, though, Chelsea, is this: that high-capacity magazines exist in Rhode Island. There's a lot of them, and when I say high capacity, I'm talking about magazines that contain up to as many as 50, 60, 30 rounds. They are causing a problem on the streets of Rhode Island that are making the public and police officers less safe. Just last week, somebody was sentenced to 23 years for firing at a police officer and a member of the public with a 27-round magazine. Just within the last couple of weeks, we recovered from someone who stole a car in the house where a search warrant was executed, a 50-round and a 30-round magazine. We can't charge that conduct because right now in Rhode Island it's not illegal. It needs to be. In terms of the grandfather clause, the problem with grandfathering in, meaning if you had one of these magazines previously that you could keep it, the problem with that is in a case going forward, we wouldn't be able to prove when the person got the magazine because they don't have serial numbers on them. So effectively the law would not have any useful purpose. It would solve this problem of high capacity magazines putting the lives of the public and law enforcement in danger. My hope is that we'll still get it done this year, but certainly the Senate vote today will make that process more difficult.
And how all of that being said is what I'm trying to say here. Do you think that these legislations drafted as it is goes far enough?
Well, look, I think if passed, it will be an enormous step forward for public safety. We charged 143 cases in 4 months alone, and of those 143 cases from September through December of 2021, 38 of them had high-capacity magazines, meaning magazines over 15. So we're not even talking in the 10 to 15 range. So they are out there, they're in the hands of people, in the hands of criminals, and they're being used to endanger public safety. In my judgment, as the Attorney General, they are an existing threat here, and we need to do something about it.
And with the last 2 weeks left in the legislative session, is there anything else that's of top priority to you aside from the guns?
Yeah, there sure are. We've got some legislation in a couple of areas, 3 I can think of. There are several bills in on protecting children. extending the statute of limitations for sexual assaults against children that have reached their 14th birthday. Right now, that's a 3-year statute. It's far too short, and it's having an impact on some of the cases we're doing. There's a child neglect statute we'd like to see passed. There's a position of authority sexual assault statute that we'd like to see passed. So that's in the protect children category. We think that the penalties for drunk driving ought to be longer. So there's legislation in about that. In my judgment, they're just not significant enough. And then there's legislation that I've had in for a number of years now involving wage theft, stealing wages from workers. That really needs to pass to protect working men and women in Rhode Island.
A lot still left to get done.
There sure is, Chelsea. Yeah.
We appreciate you for stopping by here at 4. A lot of ground was covered. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.